how are you? I'm Leah. I'm in Jacksonville, your hometown, right?
Yes, very much. Yes. Hello,
uh,
Jacksonville.
First, I want to start by just talking about why you guys decided to perform at this benefit. What's the connection between, music and trying to raise money to rebuild?
Well, it was presented to us through our management that Hertz Arena and Ira Dean had gotten a hold, got a hold of us and wanted to do this show. And they said, what better fitting band to do this than a Florida band? We've been from Florida all our lives. And, I always like to say I'm flow grown, you know. Johnny and I still, of course, live in Florida. Johnny lives there in Jacksonville, and I live down in Fort Myers. I've been out in Fort Myers since 1991. I've seen, I've been through some of these storms before in my life. One devastational storm was in, and I'm old enough to say this, but 1964 in Jacksonville with Hurricane Dora. And so I know what that feels like. Well, when they got a hold of us, Johnny said, "What do you think, Rick?" I said, "I'm willing to do this because I'm down here and I see it. I saw the devastation down there. When I got back, I think I got back in. We were on the road at the time, and I got back into town about a week later, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow. So many people hurt, without homes. People had lost loved ones and their pets. It was disaster, and I can't thank Governor DeSantis big enough for helping get that community up and get it going, back to get help. He did an incredible job. I can't thank the people of Fort Myers, the first responders enough. Sheriff Carmine Mercino, he and his people were just incredible. All the emergency rescue units, the Coast Guard, all of it. So when we see that kind of help, automatically when Skynyrd is it put in front of them and proposed for us to play a show to help out, what are you going to say? No, no. And Skynyrd has always been a band that is willing to go far and beyond to help people. And you know what? This is one of the things that we're most proud of is when we can come together for others and help others out. Because Skynyrd fans around the world has always helped us out, So we give back, and I'm happy to give back right now.
At concerts like these, what are your favorite songs to play? What gets the people like really happy singing along?
Every high energy song we can play. How's that? You really don't want to play too many sad ones. But I mean, of course, there's going to be all the classic Lynyrd Skynyrd songs will be there that night. We're bringing fully loaded trucks to be able to set up and be able to do this right. You know what I mean? So at the end of the night, when Freebird is played, everybody can say, "Hey, Freebird, we're free at last now," and maybe Freebird will take the blues and the troubles away from everybody, along with Sweet Home Alabama. You know what I mean?
Do you ever get tired of people yelling Freebird at bars whenever there's someone
I
who's
yell it. I yell it. I go into a bar and I don't go into many bars anymore, but if I do, the band's playing, I go, "Freebird!"
I mean,
No,
you
you know
can't you
what?
can't help but being iconic.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I've been playing the song I played drums with the original band. I was there in the original years for a little over 2.5 years. I've spent another 27 with the band now as a guitar player. I've played Freebird so many times. And, I get asked that question, do you ever get tired of playing Freebird? And I go, no. Um, I was able to work with the original guys, and they were my brothers. They were my friends, Ronnie and Alan and Leon, Billy. And you know what? Every night we step out there, it's paying tribute and an honor to them for their greatness, and they were great. And they never got a chance to see, just how far it went. You know what I mean? So I know that they're with us every night on stage, and I feel it. And I love being a part of this history. And I feel very blessed and fortunate to have been a part of it.
Speaking of history, you have history here in Jacksonville. So just curious if there's any specific places that you used to play music at here in Jacksonville, or any places you have special connections to that you could tell me a fun story about.
Well, we used to play a lot of the teen clubs around Jacksonville. And one of the teen clubs was over in my neck of the woods, which is Woodstock Park. And there's a teen club that we used to play over there. I think that when I look around Jacksonville now, and I still go around Jacksonville when I'm there, I actually have my mother actually lives still in Jacksonville, just turned 89 years old, And I love to ride around Jacksonville and look and see if some of the old spots are there, which quite a few of them are. We used to play down in at Friendship Park. We used to have concerts down there that we played. I've got films from it. You know what I mean? But there's a lot of funniness around Lynyrd Skynyrd. There's no one particular story. After you've been around for over 50 years, you got a lot of funny stories. We are a funny story.
Do you guys consider Jacksonville as the true birthplace of Lynyrd Skynyrd?
Yes, without a doubt. I mean, that gets me right back to what you're saying about this show we're doing. What better band to play this show than a Florida band? I mean, we were born and raised in Jacksonville, grew up in Jacksonville, went to school in Jacksonville. That was our home, and it was the birthplace of Lynyrd Skynyrd and so many other bands. So we feel, like Jacksonville will always be the staple center, for the band, no matter where any of the musicians are. And like I said, I'm down in Fort Myers, and still my birthplace was Jacksonville, Florida. I was born in St. Vincent's Hospital. So there you go.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, thank you so much for your time today. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about with this concert coming up? Anything specific? Any goals that you guys hope to achieve with this, fundraising goals?
Well, I want to make people aware, first of all, how important the show is, and make people realize that I hope that we raise, I would love to see a magic number of about $1 million, come in from this, because it would go out to the victims that suffers down there. They've lost homes, they've lost loved ones, they've lost their pets. There's a lot of devastation around, and you know what? I can't ask people enough. Within my voice, buy a ticket. I think there's less than 1,000 tickets now, and I'm sure that on the day before the show or show day, they're going to go quick. But buy a ticket and realize what you're helping, and know that you're helping people that really need that help. You know what? We're doing that we can by just volunteering ourselves, and we're happy to do so.
It's awesome what you're doing. Thank you so much. I'm going to see if
You are welcome.